It's time for an update, and I think this is long overdue. And I want to just give you a general update of what Impact Stationery is doing. I'm going to also share some of my views around Amazon, AI, how things are changing in 2026. I'm going to talk about audience building, school communities, product creation, and so on. So it will possibly be a longer video. And I have recorded this video a few times before, and I watched it back and I'm like, there were things I would have said differently, I would have touched on more, and I felt it was incomplete. So I want to give you a complete update of what's going on. First, you'll see I have a pile of different products in front of me, and I'm going to tell you why I have them in front of me, because these are not all, but I think a good portion of the products that I've been developing 2025. So 2025 has been a very, very interesting year, but also a very hard year for me. And I'm going to explain to you why. It was hard because I have had to look in the mirror, and that with looking at my products. And that can be a very vulnerable thing to do. But what I've noticed is that a lot of products that I've created 5 years ago, 6 years ago, were things that I wasn't feeling proud of anymore. So in the beginning of 2025, or like towards the mid of 2025, I made a difficult decision for me, a very, I would say, vulnerable one, not only financially, but also emotionally, and also being aware that in my own bubble, I am doing things publicly, like there are people watching me, which is interesting, but it adds a different layer as well of vulnerability. But I had to do it. So I felt that a lot of the products that I've created, I was not feeling in integrity with anymore. And I'm going to maybe show you some of these products. 1 second, I'll be back. I'm just going to grab one of these products. This one here is a manifestation journal that I've created roughly 5 years ago. And I think it's beautiful. But the content that I share in here is something that I cannot stand behind any longer. I'm not the same person I was 5-6 years ago. And also when I came into this stationary space, I always reverse engineered. So a lot of my products were strategic in nature, where I looked at my research first. What are the search volume? How can I stand out? How can I create a product? So at that time, when I created this product, 369 was a manifestation method that was very trendy, and lots of people talked about it. So I thought would be great to create a product around the 369 method. Issue is that I don't really believe in it. And I've sold a lot of these copies. When I created it, I believed more in this. And I don't want to go into spiritual talking or anything like that in this video. But basically, what I was faced with and in the mirror that I had to look was, are products that you're selling something that you feel proud of? Is this something that you would proudly share with someone? And not proud from an arrogance point of view, but proud of yes, this is in full integrity and this is a representation of my belief system and how I operate. And it was very clear that for a lot of my products, the answer was no. And that was painful, and I was vulnerable, and I was noticing that as people were like, oh, what are your products? Share them with me. And I'm like, I I don't want to share all my products with you because a lot of them I'm not proud of. So I decided I'm going to prune. Similar to a rose, you have to like cut things off so that it can grow better. And even though this product has sold a lot, it has made a lot of sales and a lot of people loved it, and it, I think, have benefited from it. So I don't think it was totally wrong, but it is something that I want to not have anymore. So I decided to cut it. And as I was started to cut and basically declutter my collection, I started to remove a lot of different products. And I decided that from now onwards, I was going to create products that are a lot more congruent from like a brand perspective, but also things that I would feel proud of to share with the world. This is why 2025 was financially vulnerable for me and also emotionally vulnerable, because I had built the success of my stationery products, and now I was taking them off the market, even though they were working. And some might wonder, like, why would you do that? If it works, it works. People are purchasing it, like you don't have to like 100%, like, yes and no. I think that it makes sense to sometimes cut something off, even if it's working, to make space for something that's going to work even better and it's going to be in full alignment. So that's what I did. My revenue went down significantly because of that, because I had, instead of having 11 different types of products, I think right now I have 2 different products that are still on the market. And even those products are going to be at some point changed a bit and removed from the market. That's quite drastic, and that's quite a bit. And now that it's 2026 and I went through it and I've put in the time to develop new products, and I'm going to talk about the product development because a lot of these products are still not going to go on market, and I'm going to let you know why. I noticed that my own standard of what I am requiring of content quality has gone up. At the same time, AI has also disrupted the market, where we feel like, we see it, right? Like Amazon is sort of becoming like a second Temu, where you can get like all sorts of different things cheap. And a lot of this content is created with AI. And this brings me to a second thing of 2025, where I started to feel it a little bit early in 2025, where I started to notice I like AI, but I'm not sure I truly love it that much, because I'm noticing bit by bit what impact it is having on overall quality of content, of connection. Like I noticed that so many people were using AI to write content that I would notice that at some point I stopped connecting with people. And also I saw that in the other way around. So maybe it was in my head, but I don't think it was in my head. I think that as I was using AI to write content, I lost connection to some of you as well, where the words didn't connect. Maybe they were fine from like grammar and text, like sentence structure and all of that, like in theory it was fine, but I think some of this content had lost its soul. So I also felt quite vulnerable from that perspective, where I'm like, okay, I'm removing almost all my products, and I'm feeling like it's a lot harder to connect with the community. And that's on me because I've used AI. And I think AI can be a phenomenal support you. Like for Elite Sourcing Collective right now, we are working on like a whole platform AI operation system thing, which is going to be really, really cool. And I think you all are going to appreciate it a lot when you use it, because ordering a new product is going to be so much easier, and there's going to be a lot more support through a platform. So it's going to be less email. It's going to be there's a chat function. There's a lot of really cool things in that new platform. It takes a few months to do it really well. I've hired someone who's amazing at it, and he also teaches AI automations, and someone that I feel deeply aligned with, like from a quality standard perspective, where I'm like, we want to make sure that for you, the user, this is going to be a really good experience. So good things take time, which is difficult in a AI world where everything is speeding up so much. And I feel like there's this sense of like, oh my God, am I being behind? Am I fast enough? Am I doing enough? So yeah, that is one part of it. Then what I want to update you on is what's happening next and what direction I'm thinking of going, and how I see Amazon, what my relationship with Amazon is going to be in the future as well, how I'm seeing the opportunities, how I'm seeing challenges right now, and what I'm focusing on. So let's start with that Amazon part. So Amazon has always been like my security blanket. Like I've been working with Amazon either by being an employee of Amazon, so I used to work for them, for those of you who don't know about that part. And I've also sold on Amazon. Like long before I sold stationery products, I sold beauty products, electronic, all sorts of different, like even teas, right? Like all sorts of different things. And Amazon has been one of the greatest gifts that I have received, because I didn't have an audience. I would have never been able to reach so many people. And considering that, I mean, just imagining the amount of human beings that have purchased the product and have that product in their life is just incredible. And I think I have a lot to thank to Amazon for that, because they brought in all these people. At the same time, I think we've all noticed it, that we are entering a new era of time and things are changing. AI has changed the things, and we need to adapt to how the world changes. And I think one of the most important skills as an entrepreneur is being adaptable and resourceful. And I think this is something that has been asked from us, and I felt that a lot in 2025, which is why I traveled a lot. So I flew to New York, I flew to London, I went to Frankfurt, I went to all sorts of stationery shows, and decided we are going to be present there. Because yes, selling on Amazon is phenomenal, but it's just like one small bit of the market, and this over reliance on Amazon, and like also with that creating vulnerability that I didn't want to create. And we've seen it. A lot of Chinese companies have figured out that with the help of AI, they can create their own products, and they go directly to the market. And then sometimes they sell their products for like $5. It's like, oh my God, like you guys are not making a profit, and you are destroying the market this way. And with a lot of things that initially you feel like, what the heck? Like this is not supposed to happen this way. It guides you into a different direction. So as I was having conversations with different stationery owners at these different fairs, some of them were saying like, Amazon used to be our 80% of where our sales would come from. Now it's fairs. And when I looked at how the retail wholesale market is, I was really falling in love with it because it had similar components to what I loved about Amazon. Like, I didn't want to take as much care of the B2C logistics, basically. And I love the idea of there's a buyer, they purchase from me in bulk, and then they have stores, they have website, whatever they do, and they then distribute it to the client. And this way, through being introduced at fairs to like different buyers, I can have a much wider reach, and I again can reach a lot of people's homes with my products without me setting up stores, without me doing all of that. And I rather partner up with buyers, basically. So I really, really, really like this. And with anything that's worthwhile, it's not something you set up overnight. So this has been now a bit of a process, and we're still in the middle of the process. So we're just building out our design for our booth in London, where we are going to be in May. And I'm so excited because we have exactly the booth that I looked at last May. And I'm like, this is the one. That's where we want to stand. And that's where we're going to stand. And it's not only me exhibiting my products, obviously, of course. It's also, I launched a mastermind quietly last summer. And I'll be exhibiting with members of that mastermind and showing the products. We'll have our catalog, and we are introducing impact stationery there. The reason why I've done that with the mastermind, because in the mastermind, most of the people that were in there had been working with me in very close proximity. Either we have, like, through Done For You products, because behind the scenes we've been actually not a lot of Done For You projects in the last 2 years because there was no capacity. We've opened up a lot more now for that. But we had some people of the mastermind have had the products done with us, or they were part of the inner circle, and it was like a done with you type of thing where we've created the products with them. So we knew the products very well, and we said for the first time, because organizing a whole group in a physical space at a fair for the first time is a much bigger thing to tackle than, which is obvious. I think it's, but still, I didn't quite grasp how complex, I think you're getting me, I think you get what I'm trying to say. So I'm very excited for this. We are also pitching stores actively, and we are planning to have a US representation probably in August in New York. So very, very happy about this. And this is something that I'm focusing on a lot because I'm not seeing Amazon just as its only thing, because the market is shifting. And I think everyone who's watching this and you want to grow your stationery business, you want to think about, how can I get it into more people's hands? How can I get the word out there? And Amazon can help you, but Amazon is going to be one part of the engine. But only relying on Amazon, not only do I see the risk now because I've seen the ups and downs, also you're competing with like cheap products, which is not ideal. So some of my newer projects, and this is where I'm wanting to move on now into like talking about newer projects that I'm creating, and also what my relationship is going to be with Amazon for the future. What I'm doing now is 2025 was a year of developing a lot of products, and I spent a lot of time testing my product, going into like different rounds. Like, this is one of my products I'm really happy about, I'm very excited about. It's basically a shadow work journal and card deck. So the journal is empty and you're using prompt cards to journal. And I'm very excited. But this product is going to first be introduced to the market through the fairs. So I want to take a retail first approach and also a pre-order approach with direct to consumer, but more as a drop. And then eventually I might also put it on Amazon, but Amazon right now is not my first go-to, and it's no longer the place where I'm just like, I'm researching it, reverse engineering, and then creating a product. Because I think to think long term, I need to be creating products that are in full alignment, that with the point where I am now, right? Maybe in a few years I think differently about these products, but I still am creating them from a different place, which I think is the exact pruning that I wanted and needed. Maybe not that I wanted, but that I needed. And I am very happy about that. What has changed for me is that I don't rush to market as quickly as possible any longer. And I really took my time. So this is my new shadow work journal. And from the inside, it is very different to the original, because I looked at usability a lot more and I went through different stages. Not that the old one wasn't good. Like, I don't want to trash my older shadow work journal because I still think it was good. I still like it. But I felt like I've learned a lot since I've created that product, and usability, simplicity has become a lot more important. So I've worked a lot on that, and I allowed myself, I'm just about to receive my third sample for this product. And that's something I'm developing. So what happens also? What happened as well is that I explored other types of product. This is a sample, so different type of product formats. And I tested going into like guided sticky notes. I've mentioned this a few times in coaching calls, but for those of you who might not watch the coaching calls or not, are not in there. So I've created like a guided sticky note set that helps people that feel overwhelmed. It basically helps people with ADHD, but also people that don't have ADHD. Why is that? Because while ADHD has been that niche that really worked very well for me, I want to have less the word ADHD on the product itself, because I think sometimes it makes it feel a little bit more gimmicky. And also I want to build a brand that can be taken more seriously, if that makes sense. So I've created this, and I spent a lot of months testing it, using it, and noticing, okay, there's still some things that I want to change, because I want this product to be fully user-friendly. And I still noticed a few things as I was using it. Oh, okay, it might not be as user-friendly as I thought it would be, because sometimes things in theory, when you see the digital design, feels very differently than using the physical product. So here's another one. So this is a project management sticky note tool. So here I notice, okay, what truly needs to be a sticky note, what does not need to be a sticky note and can be just like a notepad. And here I am also working with the manufacturer to improve what type of glue we're using, how well it will stick, and so on. But this is a product that I'm very excited about, and ideally I would like to introduce it in the summertime, in August, at the fairs, when I feel like we've perfected it. And using it for that long has really helped me. Do I think you always need to do that? I don't think you always have to do it as extensively as I've done it. And also, it wasn't like I was every day testing products. It was just that there were a lot of other things going on as well, and I let a lot of my thoughts just simmer in the back of my mind, use it, and then probably I could have done the whole thing a lot faster as well. But that's just how I've done it. That's that. Would that go on Amazon? Yes, it would go on Amazon once it is on the market. And that's something I would do. Okay, then here I have created a product that I was picturing for many years now, and something I've been wanting to do for a while. And that is creating a more customizable planner. And I wanted it to be feeling fancy, beautiful, a little bit nostalgic, you know, these beautiful, and I used to call them just agendas, because that's, I guess as a child, we used to call them agenda in Germany. So that's how I'm seeing it. Probably there are better names for it. And what I love about it is that you can customize the interior to what you need. And what this product is, this is a business planner that helps you work on the compounding. It helps you think long term, but it also helps you learn what are the return on effort tasks. So it's a business planner with my own approach. I've worked on this in the back of my mind for years. I've wanted to create a goal planner around compounding a few years ago. I think you'll also see that in the classroom. And it felt like there was something missing, and I last Q4 of 2025, I sat down and I finished developing this product. And I'm very, very happy also with the colors. And I'm just overall glad with how this product turned out. And I'm very, very, very happy about this product as well. This product is not going to go on Amazon, because I want it to be part of Impact Stationery, and it's going to be part of a funnel. So, and that brings me to the next point, or the last point that we had before, my connection to Amazon and how I'm thinking about stationery. There are a few different ways that I'm thinking about creating a stationery product, and I'm thinking of the role of the product a lot more. One of the collaborations, or one of the products that we've created in 2025 was Evelyn's product bundle, and that is a 50-50 collaboration between us. And what we are doing is we are focusing on building funnels out of it and thinking of the role of the product for the overall business. This is why I've created this business planner, but I've also created a productize your method planner. I don't have a sample with me. It's still at customs. But what I want to do is I want to incorporate physical products a lot more into funnels that create a hybrid model between a physical e-commerce business and a coaching business. So that's something that I'm working on, and where I see a good portion of you ladies and gentlemen also benefiting from, especially if you already have an expert business, a coaching business. Like, how can you have like a deliberate funnel that adds the authority, credibility? It collapses time for trust, because this is a very different attraction offer to like a digital offer. Digital offers are still good. I'm not saying that they are not, but they age like milk. You have to come up with something new all the freaking time. The funnels break very quickly. So this is something that we want to do. It's like we want to create a hybrid out of it and then directly sell to through like ads or different audience point of views, and then not point of views, like different audience vehicles, and sell directly to the end user, and then also being able to tie that in with like a membership, coaching, whatever else service. So when it comes to what I see 2026, you'll notice that my focus on Amazon is going to still be there, but it's going to be smaller as I'm focusing a lot more on bulk ordering, retail, wholesale on one side, and then creating funnels and combining it with a hybrid business model on the other hand, because I think that can be the most profitable long term and the most beneficial for those of you who have a coaching business. That's that direction. And then when it comes to audience building and building a personal brand, I think in 2026, there's no way around it. I do believe that, especially in this AI space, we need to add that humanity back to our offers. And I think that happens through relationship building, through building a personal brand. I wish I had created one earlier, but I had not. And now I am. And maybe now it's the perfect time, because I'm also a lot more, like, I'm finding my voice a lot more as well in like what I stand for, what is important to me. And I, especially with the whole AI thing, I'm noticing I want to take a contrarian road. Like, I am more than happy to say, screw AI. I mean, for content creation. I still, like, I really feel like if you overuse AI in your content creation, your content loses its soul and connection to people. And I felt it so much as a recipient of content, but also as I create content. So what I decided is, the world has been speeding up. Let's move this a little bit. The world has been speeding up so much lately. And I'm getting over the whole digital space, if I'm honest. And I crave in real life things so much. I love thinking on paper. I love meeting people in person. I love physical things. And I created a school community, a free school community last year. And I noticed that's not my thing, because I feel like I love journaling. I love all of that. But having a community around journaling where I felt like I have to constantly create content, and I started using AI to help me create content, I felt like this does not feel right to me. And I'm still going to keep the journal club, because I think this is still going to be one place, like building a community, and it will tie in very well with all the products that I want to do and all the pre-orders that I want to do. But I want to add a physical component to it. And it's not a product. I'm going to tell you what it is. I just got the stamps today, because I'm preparing for my first mail club. Here are the stamps that I've been playing around with that are going to go in the envelopes. I want to take a totally contrarian road that really fits me, and that is sending out once a month physical mail. People will get a mail, part of the journal club. They can use the school community to interact. I might post a YouTube video here and there, might post something in there, but the main goal is for people to interact with each other, not as much me being someone who teaches journaling or something like that. It's not as much what I want to do. And people can sign up to be part of the journal club, and every month they're going to get something really, really fun, a letter. And in that letter, I'm going to be sharing a few thoughts, but also I'm going to be providing journaling tools like prompts that are on stickers that they can use in their notebooks, some paper journaling games. I don't want to say too much about it, but I feel like I found my way, and initially that print club is going to be small, and I think that's fine, and it gets to grow over time. But I feel my relationship to email has changed, and I've been thinking about this for years, that I would much rather send physical mail again, but not just like advertising, like really valuable, something valuable, because it is personal, it is something that is thought through, not quickly thrown together with AI, intentional and useful for anyone who enjoys journaling and wants to grow through journaling. But also I don't want it to be like too much like growth and healing and work. Like, I'm over that too. I'm like, let's think on paper, it's benefiting us, and there can be also some playfulness there. And yes, we will grow, but it doesn't have to feel like this assignment, homework. Basically, that's what I'm doing. And I have like these beautiful stamps already. Look how beautiful this is. My designer has outdone herself again. Look, I love it. And that's the journal club. We are just testing it, and we will launch this pretty soon. I think towards the end of the month. I think we will launch this. It will probably initially be a small, maybe 10 people, 15 or 20 people will join. But I think that would be perfect that way. And then we get to grow this. And also, this is a genuine way for me to show up on social media too, because I've been wanting to build a personal brand, and that's also what I've done behind the scenes in the hybrid. But I wanted to be authentic to what I want to do, and I also want to, I think there's a common theme around my changes, in a few years' time, I want to feel proud of the content that I've created. I don't want to do any tactical reverse engineering titles and all of that stuff. I just want to create for the purpose of creating and putting things out there that I believe and that came out of my brain and out of my heart, and things that I believe in. I don't want to engineer this with AI and create something that could potentially go viral and all of that. I noticed that I feel so repelled by this. I'm like, I crave humanity, and I crave true authenticity, and I crave my own creativity. So I know this has been a long video, and it might have been a little bit all over the place, but I thought that this is important to give a longer update and all of the things. And what does this mean for Impact Stationery? My goal is to grow Impact Stationery significantly. And I don't know how long that will take and what it will take and what we will do. But I know that we will... So I've hired some people for ads, and we are going to have these videos created by you, lovely people. And I want to just get the word out there for impact stationery and it being impactful, thoughtful, and helping people to slow down again, think on paper, make progress in their life, enjoy their life more, connect with themselves. And I feel like now it's more important than ever to create these types of products. So thank you for listening to this really long message, and I look forward to going on this journey with you and being with you here. And yeah, thank you.